Welcome back to Iron Archery Outdoors, guys. We got some stuff to talk about. So I see it a lot. I see it a lot about arrow components for 4mm shafts. This shaft is a Ultra Phantom 250 spine. So far, I have been very impressed with these arrows. They test out absolutely insane. Doing a dynamic test where you press both ends until you get the arrow to flex to find a spine. Nock tuning these arrows. I mean, I've never dynamically tested an arrow that responded the way these did. I was completely shocked. And nock tuning just relayed the message even different, or even verified what the dynamic test showed, essentially. And so these arrows are absolutely phenomenal. They shoot absolutely amazing. I mean, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, these arrows will stack at 100 yards all day long. They're very consistent shafts. Probably one of the most consistent shafts I've ever tested. Let's put it that way. Durability-wise, it's been absolutely awesome. I've blown through my targets back here, smoked the rocks hard, and hasn't done anything to them. But I'm running the 120 grains 416 stainless ultra glue-in tips, and hitting the hard rocks didn't barely do anything to them. Literally just barely just curved the tip a little bit. I literally just took a file and filed off, and just so it was a little bit straighter, and good to go. So down that line is other components for 4mm shafts. I've always been super skeptical on 4mm components because A, they were designed like garbage and they bend easy, or two, they were made of material that I did not like and they bent easy, or they were made of a good material and they were ridiculously heavy, or it was just a big, long, chunky outsert system where there's no collar or nothing covering the sleeve, the shaft. So it's just a big lever out on front asking to be bent. So up till like literally the last couple of years, hasn't really been that many good components out. I know Ethics Archery has had some components, but they do have a hefty price tag, but they are good components. I run their hit inserts in my 5mm shafts, the titanium ones from hunting arrows that I used last year. Potentially going to use them again this year just because that arrow build is flying absolutely awesome, and I'm running the Day 6 Evo X, so it's a big fixed blade, but that arrow is flying absolutely awesome, so I very well might just leave that arrow system alone and use it again. But I'm probably going to test some of these ultras out this year hunting too, though. Why not? But I built them originally for a 3D arrow, a long-range 3D arrow for a Total Archery Challenge and stuff. And I'm very impressed with them. This full arrow right here is 420 grains without the lighted nock. So upper 420s, I think 428 or so would be with the lighted nock. I'm shooting, and these are the Rikawa lighted nocks off Amazon. Don't bash them till you try them, because I will put this lighted nock up about any lighted nock on the market, hands down. I shot them in my 5mm shafts a lot, and I'm shooting them with my 4mm shafts quite a bit. And I've always been skeptical on shooting lighted nocks repeatedly because they're very known to crack and break and blow a bow up potentially. And I've seen it happen numerous times, but I've honestly shot these lighted nocks more than any lighted nock I've ever shot in my entire life. I don't mean to bash a lot of them either, because I shot nocturnals for a long time. Never had one crack because I'd usually just build up an arrow, I'd shoot them, get my sight tapes good, and usually I was running, a slider like I'm running the XL driver where I can run different tapes. And metal tapes, vice versa. But I'd run a different set, or I had two different sights where I'd have a hunting sight and my bow and my 3D sight. So basically, I could just swap sights and go. But I'd basically build a set of arrows with the lighted nocks, and I'd set it aside, and that'd be that. I'd get sighted in, make sure it's shooting good, all that stuff, set them aside, till I'm ready to go hunting. But when I started shooting the Rikawas, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to test these out quite a bit. And I shot those lighted nocks on my 5mm a lot last year. More than I actually started to feel comfortable with. But I never had one fail. I never had one crack. I never had one shoot weird. These nocks shoot extremely well. I mean, they'll stack at 100 yards. And I've never had one get weird, tweaked, bent, and just awkward. And they're like $20 for a pack of 6. I think I've only had one that quit lighting up, which I shot it a lot, which is fine because then it's just another reason to use it for a practice arrow. But they got the little universal switch thing here, like the Nocturnals have and a lot of other ones do. But these things are bright. The reds are very bright. So if you can't find one, then there's a good chance that you probably didn't have it on your arrow. But aside from that, side quest is components. Is a friend of mine, Jesse Brigintes, out of Rochester, Minnesota, also known as a Bergie Bowsmith. Super awesome dude, very good bow tech, very, very good bow tech. So if you're ever around the area, go check him out. Shoot him a message on Facebook. Get you hooked up. Or even restrings. He's an installer and dealer with Unbound Archery, which is the same strings I run. Top-notch strings. I mean, they are very hard to beat. I mean, I run them on all mine. I got them on mine. I got them on my wife's bow. I think I got a set on my kid's bow. I put a lot of them on too, and it's the #1 brand that I recommend on anybody that wants a string put on. That comes out of here for sure. And his customer service is bar none. I mean, you can't beat it. When you message him, you are talking to the builder of the strings. He is a solo builder up till this year. He's actually, as far as I'm aware, he's training in another builder. So just obviously probably with the supply and demand, he just can't keep up by himself anymore. But he's also a guy that he is very particular on how he does things. So good luck to the other builder. Hope you can cut it because it'd be awesome. Be able to pump some stuff out. But even aside from that, I've never had bad issues with his shipping or even waiting, in line to get a string done. I mean, he is on top of his stuff now. And I mean, most times, I mean, I'll put in an order and it's getting shipped in a couple days. So it's been very good that way. But aside from there is Jesse Brigintes, a Bergie Bowsmith, came out with an arrow company, K2 Arrow Company. He's got a sawtooth arrow, which I believe, I shouldn't even say if it's 5mm, 4mm because I don't remember, but it's got sawtooth and it's kind of a funny name. It's like a Wasatch or Wasatch or something like that. It's kind of a funky name. It's kind of cool though. But he's got a 4mm and 5mm shaft and components for both. But the thing I want to talk about is component system is because, in my opinion, in a 4mm system, this component system is superior to a lot. Reason being is first you start out with a half out. Okay? That slides in your arrow. Then your sleeve slides over that. Extremely durable system, and it is thick. Hopefully you can see it. That's a thick wall, okay? But here's the thing. This system slides over the shaft 5/8 of an inch, okay? The end of this shaft, when this slides up, is you can see the taper in the tip here, or in the sleeve, where it's thicker and then it tapers down thin to the shaft, is the end of this shaft is up in here in the thickest part of this thing. So the end of your shaft is covered by the thickest part in this sleeve. It's extremely important when it comes to durability on these things. And on top of that, where the end of your shaft is to the end of here is 7/8 of an inch, which basically right there. Okay? This whole sleeve is 1.5 inches long. So that's also extremely important to me, because you not have a huge lever out here. Like some of these components come way out here, and it's ridiculous. So that system is extremely well. This system is a 70-75 aluminum. And if you watched any of my other videos about some other stuff, is I'm very skeptical on aluminum components. 99% of the time, I won't use them. But the only reason I am using these, A, is because I can get this arrow into a weight range that I want to be in. This system right here, I believe, is 55 grains, I believe. This is the all aluminum. But also is on some of his videos, if you watch on K2 Arrow Company or his Berge Bowsmith, if you find a video of him talking about him, he actually sets it on the table and hits it with a hammer. And it does nothing to the sleeve. Okay? He doesn't hit it with it in there. Hits just the sleeve itself. Okay? And he did it when I was over there and picked him up. Because I was working over there and I was like, hey, if you're around, I'll stop and grab some inserts. I want to mess with them. And he's like, yeah, stop on by. So, and he literally took one, set it on the table and hit it with a hammer. Didn't do anything with it. So I'm like, all right. But the other thing that really intrigued me was he sent me a video of a couple arrows hitting a steel turkey target, like the iron buck, except it's an iron turkey, at an indoor range. So it's not like really far. It's not like 100 yards away where your arrow's losing a lot of energy. So it's relatively close. I'm going to say inside of 40 yards. So you're still maintaining quite a bit of energy. And literally did nothing to the aluminum system. That's impressive. But the other cool thing with his company is when you buy arrows, you don't have to get inserts with them. So if you want to run your own insert system, you don't need to pay for the inserts like you do on like every other arrow company. Okay? Well, we'll say ultras. You buy ultra arrows, you're paying for the Arco system that comes with it. I wish every arrow company out there would sell their components separate. Period. I don't find it suitable if we're trying to be in a market where we want to supply components and arrows for bow hunters and archers and even just target archers in general. Why do we have to pay for an arrow component if potentially we don't want to use it? Why do we have to pay for them? It'd make everything more affordable. And if you're selling the heck out of an arrow, but you're not selling billion components, then maybe that's a red flag that maybe your component's kind of trash. Maybe you should redesign it, make a superior insert and components. Okay, then you'll probably sell more of them. And that's kind of why I really hope that Jesse with Berge Bowsmith over there with the K2 Air Company, I really hope he sells an absolute ton of these things, because I do actually believe in these systems. It's very durable. And this is the aluminum system. Like I said, I believe it's 55 grains. But you can mix and match this system with either aluminum or titanium half out and an aluminum or titanium sleeve or a full titanium system. So whether you mix and match the sleeve and the post or the half out with aluminum or titanium, there's a 70 grain and a 75 grain system, and the full titanium is a 90 grain system. So you can mix and match however you want. And the full aluminum system, Jesse, if you watch this, please comment below if I'm wrong. But I believe that the full aluminum system is $50. The mix and match system, aluminum or titanium mix and matched, I believe is $55, and the full titanium system is $60. That is for a dozen. Okay, I'm going to say that again. A dozen half-outs and sleeves. Okay? Nobody out there is matching that at all. So if you're sick of paying for $100 systems and arrows, you should probably check these out. Because as far as I can tell, and as far as I've found, and I do a lot of looking online for a lot of different things just to see what prices are like out there, and a lot of different stuff, and I have never found a system of this quality for this price, hands down. I will put this system against any other $100 system that's out there. I'll do it all day long. That's impressive. So, basically, essentially, that goes in, that goes over. So you're probably wondering, well, okay, it's not the same arrow as his arrow, so how is it fitting? Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, when that goes in, this side I have lightly sanded. Okay, this is a 250 spine Ultra. This is a 300 spine system of his sleeves. Okay, that'll go on there, but I gotta press it on there. Okay, it'll go on, but I got to press it on firm. So when I build a hunting arrow, all I got to do is just ram that thing on there. Or I can be a little more conservative about it, and I just lightly sand the shaft, and then it'll slide right on, okay? And there is no wiggle in there at all. So people that get so worked up about, well, I don't want to sand my shafts. Well, here's the thing. If you buy a collar or a sleeve that when you put it on there and you have a gap in there and there's some wiggle room in there, you better put some glue in there. Whether it's hot melt, which I recommend hot melt. I hot melt everything in. Iron will hot melt. Stuff is absolutely awesome. But anyway, is glue on. Okay, if you have a gap in there, a noticeable gap, it means you're going to have play, which means your system is not going to be as durable as it's designed to be. It's got to be snug. Okay, that's why if I can get away with just sliding that sucker on there, I don't need glue. Cool. Okay. So, and this is, like I said, a 250 spine Ultra with a 300 spine series sleeve and post to match up with the Ultra 250 spine. Now, if you were to shoot, say, a 300 spine in the Phantom, you might not have to sand anything at all. Okay. They probably fit on there pretty good, because I believe these are 0.245 outside diameter, 250 spine. The 300 spine, if I believe, they were like 0.243, something like that. Maybe a smidge less, but somewhere in there. So they might fit really good. But he's got arrow charts on there on his website. Unfortunately, Ultra has been really lacking on putting their outside diameter dimensions on stuff, and I've harked on my rep about that a few times. I'm like, hey, you guys got to change this stuff. If you guys want, you guys got to put this information out there, okay? But if you have, I don't remember the dimensions off the top of my head for all the spines, but if you want to know the dimensions for the outside diameters for the Ultra Phantom arrows, or even the other arrows, their Centrum lines, the 166, the 4mm shaft, the 204s, 5mm, the 246, vice versa, just let me know. You can either drop a comment on the video or hit me up on Facebook under Will Cody, or my Facebook, Iron Archery Outdoors. Shoot me a comment, be like, hey, I'm wondering if I can get those the outside diameters on those Ultra arrows, and I'll get you the info, so you can match some components up to it, or let me know what arrow you got, and I can help you out that way too. Whatever you want to do. So back to that. 4mm systems, he makes, like I said, a 5mm system too, which is the same design as this. I believe the weight ranges are in the same ballpark too. I didn't really look at them too much, but yeah, superior products. Jesse's an awesome dude. Hit him up on Facebook. If you can't find his name, just look up Bergie Bowsmith on Facebook, or I believe he's got a website, bergiebowsmith.com, or K2 Arrow CO Company.com, and it'll bring you right to it, and you'll find whatever you need. So, hope that helped you out, and hopefully maybe that kind of opens your eyes a little bit for components. I hope it does, because like I said, Jesse's a great dude. This product is absolutely awesome, and I'm really looking forward to testing them out. And I've seen firsthand the durability of them, like him hitting it with a hammer right in front of my face. So, hope it helps you out. Till then, shoot straight.